Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. Today we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture, and we're focusing today on hummingbirds.
Yes, I love watching the hummingbirds this time of year, and it's a great joy, I feel like, to see them in action. And whenever you start looking, especially about their what they prefer, then you might want to be inspired to add some of these perennial flowers to your landscape to kind of keep them happy all season long. So I wanted to, first off, Joanna, talk a little bit about the type of hummingbird that we have. So we have the ruby red-throated hummingbird here in Kentucky, and so generally for us, depending on how the conditions go, we start to see them about second midweek of April, and then they continue on through the summer months, and generally they start migrating at the end of September, sometimes into October. So it's really important to make sure that when you understand how long that they're here for, to make sure that you have something blooming in the early spring, throughout the summer, and even into the fall as they begin to migrate. So we have some great specimens here on set today to kind of show you some of the native plants that are really good for attracting that backyard wildlife like hummingbirds.
And are all these perennial, so they'll come back every year?
Yes, that's a really great benefit with these plants. So these are going to come back year after year. There will be a little bit more maintenance probably that you'll have to provide to it, not just the water, but you may have to do some divisions and things like that. But still, they're really good for attracting hummingbirds.
Yeah. So if you can't keep up with your feeder sometimes, if you have these plants, you can still keep the hummingbirds around.
Yes, that's correct. Okay. That's correct. So one of the best flowers as far as color goes is red. They are very attracted to red. And then the second with that is they're really attracted to tubular type flowers. So if you can kind of think about some of those characteristics that they really like, and maybe you can kind of place that around your garden that way. So the first one that we have, this is Monarda or Beebalm. This is a Scarlet Beebalm that we have, obviously with the red color, you can kind of see that. But this is one that you can find blooming about, I would say, May to June. It's really good for attracting hummingbirds. And again, the only thing that you have to watch out with this one, Joanna, is powdery mildew. So some of those are really bad for getting that, but whenever you see that, try to provide more good airflow. If you can water in the morning, that'll help keep that one as good. So this is Beebalm. Another one that we have is wild Bergamot. So this one you can see is similar bloom to that, but it's only purple in color. So this one is another great one. It's like a spring type bloomer for us here in Kentucky. So a great option, and it's also native to here as well. So you can kind of see what those look like. Now, one of the earliest bloomers that we have for Kentucky is this columbine. And again, you can kind of see this one in particular has that reddish look to it, on the tips of the blooms. And again, you can kind of see that tubular type shape of bloom to it as well. So a lot of times when the hummingbirds come and visit, this is one of the earliest ones that will actually come and visit. So this one is one that is a little bit lower growing, but still you can kind of see the stems here with the actual blooms itself. It is one that will tolerate, it will tolerate some shade, but again, red is great, but if you don't have that red shape, there's a lot of other columbines that you can find that are just as good. They're white, they could be bluish purple or even purple. So just maybe look to that one, and that one's a great option. And then this one right here that we have in the back, it's called Beard's Tongue, Foxglove Beard's Tongue. This one is really good not only for hummingbirds, but really good for bees too. And again, they like to hover and then get their proboscis, which is their long beak, down into that to get the nectar source. So these are great options. And one of the other ones I like to mention is purple coneflower. So that's echinacea, and that one's really good because it also has insects that the hummingbirds really like for their protein source.
Okay, because I was about to say, it doesn't have this tubular flower.
Right. So there could be some other flowers out there that still might not fit the red and the tubular type shape, but offer some other sorts of benefits too.
And what about this red one here, Kristin?
Yes. So this one is coral honeysuckle. I'm glad you mentioned that one. That one is gorgeous for the early spring of the year here in Kentucky. And again, this one is a vine, so you can kind of see the growth habit is a little bit different. We have it in our Monarch Way Station here on site at the Extension office. It's a great plant. You do want to make sure you have something for it to climb on because it is a vining type of plant. So we have a Hummingbirds publication. It's Forestry 97. So if you want to come by, request that, pick it up. We'll be glad to get that in your hands.
We appreciate you watching the Farm and Home Show, and have a great day.